Now let's work with our final glitch effect. So here I have a video of someone just moving their head in different directions. And this will be great for like an echo head effect. So first we're going to begin by duplicating our layer. On the duplicate, we're just going to mask the face. So simply go on your layer, grab the pen tool, and start at the beginning of your timeline. Simply go around the face, and you actually want this to be inside the face, not exactly on the edges, because it can help with the look of the effect. So make your mask, and we're just going to animate the keyframes. Go forward and change the keyframes as the subject moves their head. You can grab multiple keyframes and pull them in their new position. She rotates her head. You can also rotate the mask. And the shape is just going to stay the same, but rotate when you ask it to. So just keep going until the end of your timeline. We're not going to leave the effect on from start to finish, but it's good to have like a base work ready. And then later on, we can decide how much of these mask keyframes we need. So once we have this, we want to feather our mask quite a bit. So maybe 80, 100, and the softer the edges, the better. We can come back to this if it wasn't enough. So now we're going to go to the effects panel and look for the echo effect. Add this right on your duplicate. And what's going to happen is that this effect is going to multiply each of the frames depending on the settings you give it. So go to the beginning of your timeline, set the number of echoes to 1, remove the intensity to 0.40, 0.50, just a little less intense. And we're going to turn the echo time to 0. So this is at the start. It's going to look a little bit intense. I'm going to have to do this again. I think 0.60 looks better. And once we have this, we're going to keyframe this. So make a keyframe for echo time and number. Go forward. I'm going to pull these up a little forward. And then we're going to begin the first echo. So we're going to add to the time, like 0.200, and increase the number of echoes. So now we have this effect. If the intensity is too much, you can do it here, just remove the amount. I'm going to go with 0.30. You can also keyframe this. So it's 0.30 here. In the last keyframe, it's 0.60. So over time, it's just changing and we're getting this repetition effect. Now let's go forward. We can go in a few frames forward. I'm going to go in 5 frames, count it with your right arrow key and just alter the numbers. So from 0.200, let's go to 0.400. And turn the number of echoes to like 1. Intensity is good, so I will just repeat this keyframe. Go in 3 more frames. Reset the parameters so we get her normal self. But of course, this one should be, the intensity should be 0.30 or else it's going to be bright. Go back here, set your echo time to 0 if you want it to be stable. Then move forward and we can just make another set of keyframes. So it stays normal here, but then from here it's going to look different. Now count 5 more frames. Or just use this with Shift. And I'm going to increase it to 0.400 this time. Change the number of echoes to like 3. reduce from the number. And I think the echo time is, we want it to be 0.400, not 400. So you're going to get this, and the more you play around with the time, the better it's going to look. So I think I will go with 200 first and just increase my echo number. So let's go with like 7. Make another keyframe for intensity so it stays at 30. Move forward and just change this over time. 80, reduce from the number of echoes. So once I have this, I'm just gonna turn this back to 0. So echo time 0, number of echoes 1, and the intensity 30. So now I can just duplicate these and put them until the end of my video. So we get a cool echo effect. Play this back and notice how her face alone is like multiplying as we go. Now, one thing you can do with this to take it a step further is to work with the reverb of this video. So normally for reverb, we would be referring to audio, but when you create a reverb effect, it can make your videos look really cool. So now to add the reverb effect, we need to first nest these two. Call this echo effect. And we're just gonna go in here and make markers for whenever the echo effect starts. So right here, I'm going to make a marker. Hit M. It ends here. The set, click away, hit M, and just keep doing this so that you know when you should put the reverb effect. So now that I have my markers, I can go back here and we can see them right here. Based on these markers, I'm going to make a cut on my nest. We'll do one right here so it's not this long. Grab these segments that have that echo effect and pull them right up. I'm just pulling them up so it's more organized. You can just leave them down there. Now on these sections, we're going to reverse them all. So let's grab all of these, right click, speed and duration, reverse speed. So essentially we're going to get this reverb glitch effect, which is only happening because we reversed the video. Now to give it more of a glitch, we can cut up the sections and make some normal sequences. So it's reverse here, let's move in 7 frames, cut it again, and then make this one normal. So you're just playing around with time here to get like a glitchy effect. It's normal here. Let's make it normal here. Count 5 frames. Hold down Shift, press this once, cut this, and then move in maybe 2 frames. Make another cut. Command K, Control K, and we're going to turn these middle sections normal. So just uncheck reverse speed. Then I'll just leave the final one be reverse. So now what's happening is that we're getting a nice echo and glitch effect using time and the echo effect. Using time, and it's going to look pretty cool once we preview it. So there's my effect. You can see that it just becomes this weird selection thing. Once I take a look at a preview, I can go back in my nest. The cuts do not affect the stuff in here. So go back in here and maybe intensify some of the middle keyframes. I'm going to open this up so I can see exactly what's happening. Let's go to the first set of keyframes. And of course, I want to see a preview. Maybe add to the number of echoes. Let's go with 5. Turn the echo time like -0 to 100. So it can look a little different. And I think I'll just add to the echo number. So now we get like multiple effects of the subject's face. Turn this back to 5. Let's try like 0.600. Next keyframe, it's 400. And I want to increase the number of echoes. The more you add, the more clouded the face is going to be, which can be nice. And we can also set decay keyframes. So you're going to get this. I'm going to make one for 0.80, go back to my old keyframe, and turn it back to what it was, which is 1. And go back to the beginning, the first keyframe. Let's see how that looks. Do we get this face effect? I think 1 is too much. Let's go down to like 0.40. So it becomes weird here. It stays weird. And we can continue this on the next set of glitch. So here's the second one. Make a keyframe for 80, go back, and make it like 0.30. So it's not that obvious. Here it's looking ghost-like. I'm going to keep it at 80 for this part. Go to the next one. And that's looking good. I'm just going to highlight or just have my playhead on where we had the decay keyframes. Make another marker so that I know around here I want to do like a reverse speed. Go back here. I think this is where it's happening. There we are. So here it's reverse. It goes back to normal. And I like the ghost effect. So I'm just going to keep that. And we're done with our effect. You could add like a different color change to the video. I'm going to add a tint to these reverse cuts, which have the yellow FX box. The normal ones have a gray one. So add a tint effect to one of these reverse ones. Go into your effect controls. We're going to map black into something else. Actually, we can do this on an adjustment layer, so we can work with the blending mode later. Make one right here. We're going to cut it as we go on, but for now, let's add the tint effect. Map black to like dark blue, white to a purplish color. So we get this. And then I can grab my layer and change the blending mode. So you can try hue to get this, or maybe just color it. Try luminosity, you're going to get something like this. It's really a matter of experimenting. I think I will stick with hue so we can tell that this is still my subject. You can also remove from amount to tint in order to get a less intense look. So it's going to go from this to this. This can make it look more sci-fi and more cyberpunk. Now cut your adjustment layer based on these reverse speed videos we made, so that the tint only comes when the video is reversed. Again, refer to the FX box. If it's yellow, it's reverse. If it's not reverse. So cut that up, and we got ourselves a really nice ghost echo effect. I'm going to render this, and then we can take a look at the preview. So this is my final result. It's really nice. We get the echo, we get the ghost effect, and it was pretty simple to do. You can customize the colors into anything you want. And that concludes our glitch effects for this lesson. So I hope you guys enjoyed these glitch effects. You can use them for your music videos, horror films, short films, anything that has the right amount of hype to match these crazy looks. Now let's move on to our next lesson.